Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP. Captions on this video were provided by Liara, and this week has two major themes really, card games and explosions, and sometimes they happen at the same time. The card game itself has exploded after all, and the tournament bracket is well underway, with the first challengers falling, the seeded players proving they're at the top of their game, and some classic mind games as people swap decks to counter each other's known strategies.
I do have an efficiency book, and I'm gonna yellow you and knock out your...
While TNT cards are being flung in the arena, some actual TNT is being used to fling something else into the arena, and explosions are heard elsewhere as ZF's latest experiment gets into gear. We also see Decked Out making more quiet but determined progress in the background, ready to share the spotlight and give the hermits more reasons to hoard and lust after virtual cardboard. So let's waste no more time and take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with tournament duels to catch you up on the current standings. It feels silly to say spoilers ahead given the name of the show and all, but we can't really avoid flat out revealing who wins what matchup here. With that said, the Zombie Cleo vs Joe Hill's duel is worth watching on your own because it's less of a card game and more of a funny voice line generator.
Yes.
Oh, that sounds bad.
No, it's good.
Does not sound great. You know, I'm worried that Grian is going to feel a little bit, less excited without his cool shirt that Cleo ripped off him and threw in a discard pile. So I'm going to give him another Jevin buddy here.
Ultimately, Cleo comes out victorious by deploying their Wall of Tinfoil Chef strategy. Special mention to XP Crafted, who helped arrange their deck.
I love Hypno, by the way. Can we just say that as a person, he is one of my favourite cards because he just messes up other people so much.
He's one of my favorite cards.
Yeah, as a person,
sounds like an insult
he
to
is
him
one of my
as a
favourite
person.
cards.
He just brings me so much joy, and it's great that his
You
card
know what?
echoes that.
You know what?
No.
What his card echoes is he's going to stab you in the back.
We finally find out who it is Hypnotized placed against, and it turns out he has lost to BOO, despite the guy giving up immediately after the coin toss.
You know, way back in the day, I played some Magic the Gathering, like way back when.
Now you have the advantage. Yeah, I might just, you know what, I quit.
Joke's on him. In the meantime, Hypno snatched B-Dubs' texturing technique and applied it to the wall of his farm hole at his base. Helps to know the ground around it is propped up by brick, after all. Doesn't help to see all the missing ones done with the stair trick.
Yeah, so doing this little section didn't take super long, but, to repeat that pattern all the way around the rest of the base, that's gonna take a little bit of time, I do expect.
B-Dubs' next opponent, unfortunately for him, is second seed Etho, who has been sharing strategies with Doc M behind the scenes. The strat in question is, play Stress Monster as often as you can, which has been working out pretty well for him so far.
Is Stress has an ability called YOLO. This attack instantly knocks out opposing active hermit as well as the user.
Yeah, I might just, you know what, I quit.
Despite this, Etho is a little apprehensive to play the only proven winner of the tournament so far, and his caution is backed up by how lucky B-Dubs' coin tosses go.
Yes, it
It's
is.
an important role, yes. And
No!
poison. This is going lovely.
I really needed that to miss.
100.
As the game evens out, B-Dubs makes the crucial mistake of forcing Etho to swap in a new hermit, which puts him in a position to checkmate.
I do have an efficiency book, and I'm gonna yellow you and knock out your tango and my stress.
This man right here. In the second round.
Gosh,
Play
I don't
it
like
now.
it. I
Play
don't, no
it
way,
now.
not a chance.
No? Okay.
I gotta go and look at my deck. I gotta see what I have to deal with all this.
To add equestrianism to injury, Etho also replays his win against B-Dubs in their 1v1 horse race, but he's done some building he wants to showcase in the next video, so tune in next time for something that hopefully doesn't involve dunking quite so hard on the moss-covered guy.
You know what, I quit.
What page remains in B-Dubs' book, False Symmetry picks out to help her redecorate. Having visited the Punk Castle for inspiration and building tips, False comes away with a simple lesson to use the Armor Stand book. So she hangs up a few more armaments around her gradually domesticated interior, interrupted only by the visiting pillager patrol selling a rather unpleasant self-portrait at a price of getting stabbed in the face.
I killed that guy with a pickaxe. I'm sorry, I guess I could just drive you now. That was not my plan at all. Please don't kill me.
Her own deck of portraits does not prevent Azuma from progressing on the tournament. With a point scored on false, X moves on to challenge Jevin, who up until now sat unchallenged in the higher bracket.
So Jevin is facing nobody. Okay, that is incorrect.
Their duel is actually rather interesting, not for the fact that at several points Jevin accidentally placed some cards he shouldn't have been allowed to play, but because all three of them, Beef, Azuma and Jevin, are at the time too tired to point that out.
Jeff, have we played each other before?
I have no idea.
I don't think we have.
Well, if the ref won't call it, then the win still stands as far as we're concerned. But no one is asking us on the topic, and Jevin actually posts a rematch with X on his second channel, which changes the outcome none, by the way. X is still defeated, and Jevin moves on to what is hopefully a good nap.
First Joe off.
He didn't get a show though, right? Like, obviously Jevin's just way more on the ball with this game in general, so...
We're not the only ones recapping the match results. Vintage Beef revisits the tournament bracket with coloured dyes and glow ink to mark off the winners and losers, and move players on to the next round. He's also confirmed there will be a losers bracket at some point, but that requires more people to lose first.
Ooh, I forgot to tell you about hyperspace.
That's something he's determined not to do himself, as he rearranges his deck for a tournament match against Good Times with Scar, officiated by Cubfan. Scar may not win through the encounter, but he definitely gets our award for best dressed.
The hot guy, Mr. Good Times with Scar. Here we go. On this side, representing beards everywhere.
That's a lot of pressure, man. I don't know if I want that.
Beef continues to dress up the card game itself, adding Poultry Man and Potato Boy to the roster of alter egos. Potato Boy is of course a famous Mumbo character from Season 8, but we're still not sure who Poultry Man is supposed to be. You know you're in for a treat when DocM77 uploads a video titled 848 TNT Dupers, and this one really lives up to the name. Despite card battles being the main source of conflict on the server right now, Doc has not forgotten about the Anvil War, and he's teamed up with some TNT cannon wizards to create a machine which can anvil someone at his home TCG arena with pinpoint accuracy, or at least a half-block margin of error.
If things go wrong, we nuke the server and we crash, or I don't know what.
The whole thing sure looks like it could explode at any moment, but he leaves one section unwired as a safety precaution, making this a very practical game of keep building and nobody explodes.
Yes.
And
Okay.
Oh!
Oh god, I can't even touch the mouse. Even I touch the mouse, I'm shaking.
The best part is he launches the anvil from a straight-up copy of the arena with a tripwire grid above it, activated using fireworks, meaning he is basically playing Battleship, only instead of your light cruiser, he's trying to sink Cubfan. Which he manages to do even without anvils, because the pair of them match up in the TCG tournament. It's possibly the only time someone has stopped loading a Doomsday device to go and play a card game. But since Cub is at this point infamous for building decks to counter the other player's approach, Doc brings a counter deck for that, and he immediately fails to play it cool. Which robs us of the "you activated my trap" card line we had written for this very occasion.
The last match that Doc played, he played Prankster as well as Miner. I think that Doc is almost for sure going to play Prankster.
Okay. So, did you build a counter deck to counter
maybe,
Prankster?
Maybe.
So, guess what? I don't play Prankster anymore. Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Plot twist.
This is the moment. Let's see what he's got. Oh, he is playing Stress. Okay.
You know what? I quit.
The game is close, but Doc eventually comes through victorious. Cubfan is gracious in defeat, and even sticks around to be anviled from low orbit. Azuma also gets involved, and even Doc himself can't resist taking a couple of hits to make sure the machine is calibrated correctly. Although, now it is, we're all sworn to secrecy about it, so you didn't hear that from us. Admittedly, Cub should be a priority target. It is well known that he drops the beat.
Now it should play. There we go. Beautiful.
With the server now running an updated version of 1.19 Minecraft, the newest changes to the jukebox mechanics apply, and Cub is eager to implement them to his infinite jukebox machine.
Yeah, there's our 5 music discs, so it'll select one randomly from this. There we go. I picked the best one. Other side. Nice. Very good. And then if we want another one, we just get rid of that one. Press the button. Oh, this is so cool.
A copy of the tweaked boombox goes out to Gemini Tay's place, as the two have exchanged base tours this week, and Gem was really impressed with the original, as well as the secret tunnel leading off to Corrales' pool.
Cool thing is there's also like a little hidden area back here.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
This goes to Corrales' pool underneath.
You could just hit up the sauna without him even noticing. It's perfect.
Exactly.
In turn, Cub adapts Gem's head basement to his TCG arena, putting in 2 extra rooms for the Champions Club, where he tracks all the wins and loses for every playing Hermit. But the most coveted head spot is of course a little pedestal for the winner of the ongoing TCG tournament, who I assume will be mummified and buried in a secret chamber somewhere. Everyone else can still get a cool trinket to keep. Cub introduces a custom 3D modelled gym badge for beating him in the Pyramid Arena. You can decide for yourself whether it looks more like the Millennium Puzzle or whatever that raccoon from Madagascar was wearing.
Got the golden cards, we got some cards on top, and of course the TCG. So hopefully that will encourage other Hermits to do some battles here with me, play some TCG, because I really love this game. Like, it's so much fun.
Updates be damned, Zedaf finds a different way to play music in Minecraft: creepers. For a viewer-suggested Zedvancement, Zed faces the challenge of performing a tune using creeper explosions, which actually lands him rather well on the Tchaikovsky 1812 Overture. Famously, during the performance of this piece, Tchaikovsky called for cannons to be shot in the theatre, and if he'd only known what his music would be used for in this video, he'd order them to be shot at Zedaf.
You've dressed a lot more fittingly for an explosion.
The audience doesn't know this, but Zed just spent like 30 minutes explaining all the things that can go wrong to me.
He very quickly...
And there's a number of them. Yep.
Still, with Etho's help and a backpack full of note blocks, Zedaf arranges the concert, even having found a way to activate creepers with a dispenser. Turns out you just got to use a pufferfish instead of a flint and steel.
Okay, we're coming to the end.
Grand finale.
Yeah! Again, Etho, thank you so much for helping out there. Oh, and by the way, Liara, thank you very much for this wonderful, very dashing composer skin.
Someone's gonna have to clean up after all these explosions, so our attention turns to cleaning lady Pearlescent Moon, who goes to retrieve the junk from various bins to discover Ijevin has been throwing rare earth materials in the trash.
Oh, hey, is it Jeff? Who throws out a whole ancient debris in here? You know, there's a whole bunch of card packs now too, which is very enticing considering.
Meanwhile, Joe Hills has been throwing common earth materials into her trade shop, which might need a bit of rearranging to accommodate generosity of this scale and hardness. Luckily, she has some terrain to rearrange. Tango appears and recruits her to help deck out Decked Out, and after sizing up the rest of the area to make sure she's on theme without duplicating anything, she combines several elements into an open-air cafe where you can probably get a much-needed meal if you can parkour to it and your pet Ravager doesn't mind waiting outside.
And then when you walk up here, I've got kind of like a bit of a eating area and drinking area set up with a nice cozy fireplace next to it to kind of reference Beat-Ups' pirate ship just a little bit.
Pearl has a chompy new pet of her own back at her hilltop, where a mischievous Gemini Tay has added a piranha plant, complete with a mob farm inside the warp pipe. It's a great build, but it doesn't quite fit in with the aesthetic of Pearl's autumnal forest, so maybe it can find a home elsewhere in the alien foliage.
But that's a Mario flower thingy-majiggy. Look, I'm not that great with my Mario terminology and knowledge, but nope, that's definitely a Mario plant.
Pearl doesn't totally escape the TCG action though. You can find the full match on her second channel, but she summarizes a victory against Rendog in time-lapse fashion.
Overall, this round went very fast, so there's not a great deal to mention, but Ren ended up struggling to pull another Hermit into his hand. Tango has an ability that allows him to attack for 100 damage, but Ren ended up struggling, but I swiftly was able to remove that via using a Curse of Vanishing card. But Ren ended up struggling with a basic attack and poison damage combined. The game was set, and Ren ended up struggling.
You know what? I quit.
And finally, there's Tango Tech, who is too deep in his own cards to play with the others. Excitingly, this week Tango gives the first test run to the first level of his Decked Out dungeon, just without all the monsters for now, which is fortunate as the danger leveling system immediately glitches out and sets itself to maximum. The moral of the story here is art will ultimately take every opportunity to destroy the artist. But that's what test runs are for in the first place.
It's kind of quiet. That makes me want to go to the back of the dungeon here. We're gonna cheat.
And Tango gets himself just more and more to test as he programs in card recognition and effect execution logic gates, really just dragging big loads of redstone across systems to trigger or prevent them from triggering.
Maybe. I mean, we're at maximum clank right now, so there's obviously a problem with the clank system.
This might mark a significant chunk of progress in the grand scheme of the dungeon, but still hold the whole development back some, as Tango has once again come up with more cool cards to add to the pile. With that, he is very much stuck in there till he's sick of his own voice, which testing the announcement system will definitely do to you.
Sneak. We might have done a little bit of a voice acting audio recording session in live. Let's fly around now. Blocked. And see if it's synced up. Plank blocked. It's obviously going to be louder in some places than others. Plank blocked. This makes me so happy. Plank blocked.
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP and my name is Pixel Riffs. Captions on this video were provided by Liara. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching and we'll see you next week.
You know what? I quit.